I never thought my life would take the turn it did last year. I had been married to my wife for 8 years, and for the most part, things seemed stable. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but nothing that felt unfixable. At least, that's what I believed. It started with small changes in her behavior. She suddenly became very protective of her phone. She would flip it over on the table, take it with her to the bathroom, and keep it under her pillow at night. When I asked about it, she laughed it off and told me I was being paranoid. I wanted to trust her, so I let it go. Around the same time, she began working late more often. She claimed there were new projects at work keeping her busy, but when I casually asked her coworkers during a company barbecue, they seemed confused, saying things had been slow at the office. That planted a seed of doubt in my mind. I tried to push the suspicion away, convincing myself I was just overthinking. But one evening, she came home smelling of a cologne I didn't own. I confronted her immediately, but she acted offended, saying maybe she brushed past someone on the train. My gut told me otherwise. I decided to check our bank statements. That's when I noticed multiple charges at restaurants and hotels I had never heard of. When I questioned her, she said they were work-related expenses, but the explanations didn't add up. The walls of denial I had built around myself started to crumble. One night, while she was asleep, I checked her phone. What I found broke me. There were hundreds of messages between her and another man. They weren't just casual. They were intimate, filled with love, longing, and plans for the future. My heart sank as I realized she wasn't just cheating. She was planning a life with him. I felt like a fool. 8 years of marriage, countless memories, and all the sacrifices I made seemed meaningless in that moment. I confronted her the next morning, and after initially denying it, she finally admitted to having an affair for the past 6 months. She didn't even cry. She just sat there coldly, telling me she wasn't happy anymore. The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was the indifference. She acted like I was an obstacle standing in the way of her new life. She didn't apologize, didn't beg for forgiveness, didn't even seem guilty. That crushed me more than the betrayal itself. I asked her to leave, and she packed her things without hesitation. Within a week, she had moved in with him. I remember standing in our now empty bedroom, feeling like my whole world had collapsed. The silence in the house was deafening. Friends and family tried to comfort me, but I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Nights were the hardest. I'd lie awake replaying every memory, wondering where things went wrong and how I missed the signs. I blamed myself, even though deep down, I knew it wasn't my fault. Slowly, I began to rebuild. I threw myself into work, picked up new hobbies, and even started going to the gym. It wasn't easy, but keeping myself busy was the only way to stop drowning in my thoughts. I learned how to cook properly and redecorated the house to make it feel like mine again. Months later, she reached out. She said things with her new guy weren't working out. She hinted that she missed the stability and comfort I gave her. For a brief moment, I felt the old part of me wanting to take her back. But then I remembered the nights I cried myself to sleep while she was out with him. I told her firmly that there was no going back. I had given her my trust, love, and loyalty, and she had thrown it away. I wasn't going to let her waltz back into my life just because things didn't work out with her affair partner. She didn't take it well, but I didn't care anymore. Today, I'm still healing, but I'm stronger than I was before. The experience taught me that betrayal isn't the end of the world. It's a brutal wake-up call. I learned to value myself and never settle for someone who doesn't appreciate me. Looking back, I don't regret ending the marriage. I regret staying blind to the signs for as long as I did. But now I know better. I'm moving forward, and that's what truly matters.